30-15.
That has been the play that's been working for Jimmy, though.
15.
Come in on the aggressive cross-court forehand and close in on the net.
Game point.
40-30.
And while it may be difficult for Mecir, on the other hand, he can tell that Connors at this point is all at sea, that his mind is not in this thing. And may be difficult to play this kind of match, but there's also that little thought in his mind which says, I may be given this match for free. Great lob from Mecir, two of them in fact. The first one Connors got to with a sky hook. The second one was perfectly played.
And as you watch this one comes down and it just clips the top of the net. So an absolutely unbelievable get of Mecir to get there and hit such a good lob.
Advantage Connors.
Really the most aggressive backhands that Mecir has hit the entire match.
Connors is taking his time, not, I believe, because of anything that has happened between he and Rich Kaufman in the chair, but because he is tired and is conserving his energy. He's been doing that now for a couple of sets.
First serve. Advantage Connors.
You have the feeling, Cliff, that when Jimmy's heartbeat goes racing up into I don't know what numbers, that Mecir's then hit his heart and he reached 70. He just, while Jimmy towels off, he just wanders around gently, waiting patiently for him to come back and serve.
Game point.
It's like having to start the match all over again after an interruption like that.
Salt, please.
And the crowd fully, apparently, behind Connors still. I'll never forget 2 years ago when he walked off the court, the crowd were cheering him and they wanted nothing more than for him to continue to play. They blamed everybody but Connors for it.
Such a good shot from Mecir. But they started off supporting Jimmy in this outburst, but I think that there are quite a few people out there who have actually gone the other way.
This is another break point for Mecir. He has a break already. This would give him 3 games to love in the third. So Connors is down now. 2 serve breaks in the third set in what might better be described a brawl between Connors and Rich Kaufman. We'll be back. National Players Championships. You're looking on live from Key Biscayne.
Time.
And fireworks have been lit here by Jimmy Connors and his complaints.
Kick my ass, kiss my ass.
Trying not to get you, you know?
Anything's
just
fine.
trying to
Just
trying to do the best I can.
yeah, but unfortunately it sucks.
Well, you have a right to that opinion, and that's okay. You know? I don't mind it.
Getting fucked every time is just not anybody's opinion. It's just a fact
It's
of
not a
life.
matter of that. You know, you're
Just a
trying
fact
to...
of life. Shut up.
Well, you can hear.
Call the frickin' score. If you can do that correctly.
He sure makes himself into a martyr, doesn't he?
15 seconds.
Oh yeah.
You clearly hear the obscenities now from Connors. There's no doubt about what he's saying. What I find appalling, apart from the fact that he's using language like that, and that is going over our airwaves, and for that, again, we apologize. This is a live telecast. There's not much we can do about it. What I do find is appalling that there is no additional action taken by Rich Kaufman against Connors because of the language. That is inexcusable to me.
Love 15.
You know, Jeremy Shells, who was the umpire in that match, isn't still a professional umpire, and you always wonder whether they think their job's on the line.
I think that's
30.
very correct. I think that is an excellent point, and I think a lot of people felt that when he was fired basically from his job, although that's not how they described it when he left, I think that's what happened to Jeremy Shales, and it probably was as a result of these kinds of things. If so, it was a terrible message to send to officials.
Sure was. I mean, he still is an
15,
umpire. He
30.
still is an umpire here. He's at Wimbledon, wherever, a very well-respected umpire. But it did seem that that decision to fire him from this particular job was contingent on that match. Close.
Oh, my goodness.
15, 40.
Connors has got 2 breaks to serve against him in the set. He has a chance to break back here. That was a most surprising shot from Mecir. He had it with an easy overhead and didn't even come close. Almost missed it completely.
Series leads 3-1.
Well, having seen what you've seen and heard what you've heard this afternoon, and I suppose you react to it in different ways, I will say this before you get up and say, well, there are those irresponsible, overpaid millionaire tennis players acting up again, that I have not seen anything of this nature now in really a year and a half or a couple of years. It is not representative of what happens on the professional tennis tour in general. It really isn't.
Love 15.
I think that's absolutely true, Cliff. I think that the general standard of behavior has improved. There are a few players who get fined here and there, and obviously there are quite a lot of misdemeanors, but I think that the thing that upsets people is when they abuse linesmen or umpires. If they get angry with themselves and curse themselves or get a little mad, that's one thing. And my feeling is that the umpires should possibly be a little more lenient if the frustration is fairly legitimate and directed at themselves. But what they shouldn't tolerate at all is when the verbal abuse goes back to the linesman or the umpire. Very often you'll get an umpire giving a warning to somebody who has got angry with himself, and that just makes them madder.
15-30.
Connors is the #2 seeded player here. He's maybe the most recognizable face in all of tennis. He's certainly in the top 3 or 4 in that department. Internationally, he's a major worldwide celebrity. And the question may be, would any other player get away with what he gets away with on the court?
30 all.
Oh, I think that's a very valid question.
I don't think so.
I happen to agree with you. I don't think that if anybody else pulled that they would still be on the court playing a match.
I agree. I think the match would have been called, or at least a game penalty would have been levied.
He knows that he has control over them.
Out.
The start.
40-30.
Looks to me as if Jimmy thought that ball was good and thought, let's see whether he says anything. But he's about to pick.
That ball was about this far in.
That
far in, did he say?
He did say in, apparently. He was down in 1 point in this set, 3 games to love with 2 serve breaks. He's still behind a break, but only 1. It's 3-2 for Mecir.
58% in the first set, but still considerably higher than Mecir. Mecir has got more winners and more losers, and that probably makes sense. You know that Connors is the most consistent player out there. Mecir always takes his opportunities and doesn't make some of them.
Yeah, we're having fun now.
Kick clutch, kick clutch.
Come on, Jimmy, we got him now, man.
This becomes a very important game here because that little lapse from Jimmy is over. His concentration is back, but he's still 1 break behind.
That's a great volley. I think you're right. I think he's decided now to play. He's out here. Why not go for it and do his best? He's got that 1 break back.
And an interesting comparison for the sets. The first serve percentage, Connors has dropped off radically. Mecir has been pretty much the same all the way through.
Connors has a chance. It's love 30. Great point. Anytime the ball gets close now, the crowd are trying to inject themselves into this thing, and that, of course, is very often what happens when Jimmy gets involved in these situations. It's upsetting, I'm sure, though, because, well, they feel like they know the calls better than the lines people. It's a natural happening, and it's just going to probably be there for the rest of the match. It's electric out there.
For the first time, it looks as if Jimmy was a little winded by all that running.
Great point. 2 break points for Connors.
What an incredible point. Both players hitting so hard.
Calm down yet. I'm getting to the point where I'm feeling a little bit more relaxed. I'm not quite as mad as I was, but I'm coming back and I'm trying real hard now, so, I mean, not that I wasn't trying hard before.
Playing like in the first set, Jimmy.
Well, you hear it from Connors himself. Pretty accurate assessment of what's going on. 150 points have been played, and you may be interested to know that each player has won 75 exactly hard.
Unbelievable.
Love 15.
75 points apiece make that 75 to 76 for Mecir. Now you may be interested that we counted the penalty point against Connors, which gave Mecir the second set.
Well, I'm going to play good, solid tennis and have a good time out here. Be trying not to let a force that shouldn't bother me, you know? If I can do that, I'll be pretty good.
Connors is trying to and may succeed in taking the place of Fred Stolle at courtside as an announcer.
I know he was pretty angry with the other microphone, but he seems to be wishing he was wearing one himself.
You're wondering where Fred is, by the way. He's next door talking to the folks back home in Australia for it's Channel 9.
Coach. He blew that, dude. That's what happened to his wife last night. She blew it.
This is a big point when all is said and done. 15-30, Mecir with a chance. If he wins this point to have a couple of break points on Connors in the third.
And although there have been lots of breaks of serve, each set has had a score of 3-all.
Four breaks on 6 games in this set. Mecir started out leading 3 games to love with 2 breaks. Connors has broken him twice since then. It's 3 games all.
Ay, ay, ay.
30-48.
Just short of 2 hours. You can see the time just closing in on 3:15 in the afternoon. We're live, of course, from Key Biscayne. Moments away from Miami on the East Coast, naturally. This is break point. And break he does. Miroslav Mecir now 4 games to 3 with the break, but he's had 2 breaks before in the set, and Connors has come back, and we'll be back. Along Lipton have made their commitment to this tournament, so well, there'd been some talk about whether the 2-week event was an appropriate thing to do at this time of the year, because there are 4 other 2-week tournaments played during the year. The French, of course, Wimbledon, the US Open, and the great tournament now played in the new arena in Australia. They're all Grand Slam tournaments. This is not a Grand Slam tournament, but it is a Grand Slam format tournament. 128 players in both the men's and women's field. And it lasts, as we mentioned, for 2 weeks. Closing in on the end. This is men's semi-finals day. Best of 5. It's Mecir and Jimmy Connors. 1 set all. Mecir serving 4-3. Third set.
15. All. Mecir won titles on all 4 surfaces last year. He won here, of course, Key Biscayne. That's on hard courts. There's the net play, 32 approaches, 56%. Mecir, 60%. He's come in far fewer times, as you can tell. Then Mecir won Sydney, New South Wales. That was on grass. He won indoors, the WCT in Dallas, Stuttgart, and in Stuttgart. Oh. Mecir gives it back. 2 break points now for Connors.
I cannot believe that he didn't let that ball bounce and smash it off the ground, because he missed that similar smash before. He came in an absolutely, almost an immaculate approach shot here. Now, this would have been a sitter if he'd let it bounce. But I imagine, you know, he's only had to hit 2 smashes in the entire match. First one he goofed up, so he got a little shaky on that one. And once the ball gets up high,
that's the point.
There's a bit of wind.
Yes.
Game Connors.
Connors breaks. Boy, we played, let's see, 8 games in this 3rd set. And 6 of them have represented breaks of serve.
And a bunch of loose points from Mecir. When he got that let cord, it made his shot easier, and he over-hit a backhand. And then he made a forehand error and that easy smash. So really a bad game for Mecir right there. Just as it looked as if he was getting back in control of the set. Very nervous.
15 love.
Took a poll of the players, asked them if they had a composite player, who would they choose in various aspects. They said Connors' eyesight and Mecir's footwork, interestingly.
First serve.
Becker's strength, Lendel's mind, Cash's legs, McEnroe's hands, Martina's arms, and the nerves of Steffi Graf. Both of them represented though here.
Great play from Mecir. I would have said the mind of Chris Evert rather than Lendl.
15 all.
I think he still gets edgy in big occasions. He's got his friend Elina Stasi up there.
You hear folks from the crowd telling Jimmy you can do it. They will pull for him no matter what. He knows it. And it helps. It definitely gives you adrenaline. And it's always better playing in front of a home crowd. And almost every crowd in the world is a home crowd for Connors now. Connors beat Borg in 1978 in the Masters in New York, and a lot of people felt that might have been the best match ever played. There'd be a lot of argument with that, of course, but it's certainly up there. Connors has won the US Open 5 times on 3 different surfaces. That's a record that'll never be broken. He's won Wimbledon twice. And last year he was a finalist in Memphis, Orlando, the Queen's Club, and a quarterfinalist at the French.
40-30.
Break it down in strokes when you ask the folks about Connors and his game. They will say that Connors has the best serve return in the game.
Connors leads 5-4.
That'll be through the tournament year of 2018. And the tournament will be played, of course, in the South Florida area, right here on Key Biscayne. 11 years remaining on the existing contract that this tournament has.
I can get in there and play one good solid game right here.
And the Women's
I can do that. Put me in a good
International
position.
Tennis Association. Sorry to interrupt Jimmy's commentary. A great shot. By the way, that announcement made by the Lipton company is a feather in the cap of the man who started this whole thing, Butch Buckles, tournament director here. And if ever an event had a father, Butch is a daddy.
Gee, this set is going through a real change of mood here. Mecir just gets very edgy, conceals it.
40 love.
And this stadium is full. It seats about 12,000. I would judge there about 10 and a half here today. Game point, Mecir. Yes.
Yep.
40-15.
That's great play. Gee, Cliff, I just really feel that Mecir gets just so edgy that he moves even less than he usually does. Read that one right. He had to try to go down the line on the second one, but he had an enormous gap there.
Nerves are definitely a factor where he's concerned, you know. I mean, he doesn't look like he's nervous, but you know that underneath that calm exterior, well, there is boiling water. But he holds on to serve, and it's 5 games all now. And I want to remind you of that story that I told you about earlier in case you just joined us. And that is that Mecir, all those years ago when he was playing against Connors, it was 3 or 4 years ago now, at the World Team Cup in Germany, actually served underhand because he got so nervous and could not physically get the ball in play when he served in the regular way. He eventually lost that match.
Well, you know, the tendency, of course, when you get nervous is that you don't move as well. But when you have so little movement, you can't exactly pump yourself up. You know, if somebody moves like Jimmy, who's very active, when he gets nervous, or I would say any player, they would make a concerted effort to sort of bounce around, move their feet. But when you make sheer and you make so little movement, you don't even have that to do. Legs turn to lead.
$30.
He won the Lipton here last year, Mecir, and then he won the WCT Finals in Dallas. Stuttgart was indoors, and Hilversum, that was a clay court event. Won 9 tournaments last year.
And the point you made that he'd won on all 4 surfaces. Yeah, another line ball from Jimmy. When they hit the line, they really skid off. That one really skid.
So Jimmy, who has been going to towel off between, well, not every point, but quite a few. Mecir does it.
First serve.
For a change. Game point Connors. This will give him 6-5. The third set. So when we come back, Mecir will serve, and he will try to get himself into the tiebreaker of the third set, 1 set apiece. 4 games before the Division 1 Championship, which is on April the 1st, of course. Roger Twibell, Cheryl Miller will call the action of the women's basketball regionals on Saturday at noon. Join us.
Seats, please.
Mecir to serve, and remember, he has been broken more times in this set than he has held serve. So this is going to be a tough assignment for him, and a rejuvenated Jimmy Connors since that extraordinary, you might say appalling display.
Quiet, please.
In
Thank you.
his confrontation with Rich Kaufman in the chair after Kaufman in the first set overruled a call in Mecir's favor. Things have now settled down. 5-6.
And if you look at these 2 players, it's Jimmy who's on top psychologically at this moment. Mecir is the one who is very edgy, and this, as he gets up, you can just see how much confidence he has. He doesn't hold back at all. He goes for more than he usually does on those overheads.
I think there was a call. Connors doesn't like it.
15-all.
15-all instead of love 30, in which case he would be 2 points away from the set. It was just wide.
I thought it was out. I thought it was out.
Connors has already been given a point penalty, remember, so that the next infraction, well, it will cost him a game.
Quiet, please.
That's Kaufman. I don't think there's any doubt but that Mecir is affected by all of this that's going on around him.
No question. I mean, he looked almost immobilized on that shot. Incredible shot. I think he's probably better when he has to run to the ball. I think if he gets caught out wide on a hard ball, I think that he actually reacts better. It's the balls that are in the middle of the court that he just can't make himself move. Pure nerves.
Couple of mishits on that rally point from Mecir, and Connors finally had an easy approach shot winner, and it's set point.
Looked as if Mecir misjudged the return of serve. He thought it was going to go out, and it landed just on the back of the line. He was hoping for a call, and he never was in the point again. Well, he can count his lucky stars that he came off with a relatively easy point.
It was a great shot from Connors just to keep himself in that point, because the approach shot from Mecir was right on the money. It almost hit both lines, baseline and sideline.
Yeah, there is so much commotion out there.
Mecir asked Rich Kaufman something. And I think Mecir is asking Kaufman to ask the crowd not to make a noise while the point is in play.
Also, as a courtesy, try not to shout out during the points.
You shouldn't say try not to shout out. You should say don't shout out.
Set point number 2 for Connors.
Keep your seats, please. Not a changeover.
Jimmy Connors was down 3 games to love, and that, well, what was more extraordinary about it was that it was 2 serve breaks down. Came back, leveled it at 3-all. Finally, as you saw, broke Mecir there at 6-5, and now he leads 2 sets to 1. And you've got to bet on Connors at this point.
Definitely, I would think that Mecir doesn't know what's hit him right now. He must feel as if he is in absolutely the bottom of the biggest hole.
Out. 15 love.
And Connors' first serve percentage has come down a little bit, but it still is dominating, plus, of course, his return of serve. The errors, that's where the difference is. Way more for Mecir. When you play against Jimmy Connors, it isn't just a tennis match, is it? Excellent serve.
This is the first game of the 4th set, 2 sets to 1 for Connors. Connors toweling down again like he does a couple of points each game almost, and Mecir really has no alternative but to just hang around and wait. Connors has 30 seconds between points, and he uses them. Match is nearly 2.5 hours old. You know, it was a wonderful point there just to illustrate how much Connors is having to work. But he's amazing. Boy, he has tremendous reserves of energy. He'll take his time again now. He'll take the full 30 seconds. You can time it. I bet the ball is in the air at about 26. But he needs the break because you see how much work he has to do.
He is hitting the ball awfully well today.
Long advantage, Mecir.
In the driver's seat in this first game, fourth set, he had 40-15, Connors. And Mecir has worked his way back into a break point. Skyhook doesn't work, and Mecir brings himself all the way back to break serve in the first game of the fourth set, but he trails by 2-1. More after this. 6-3 first set, he won it, then he lost the second. Penalty point actually closed out the set. Major confrontation between Connors and Rich Kaufman. That now apparently is history in Jimmy Connors' mind, and since the time that he forgot about it, Ellie's played outstanding tennis and leads this match now by 2-1. 56,250 to the winner of this match. They have already collected over 28,000, as you can see, and the winner of the tournament will make 112. That's true for both the men's and women's singles. The women's final will be played tomorrow afternoon, the men's final on Sunday. You can watch that on the ABC network.
Level 15.
The Players' Championship next, live from the TPC at Sawgrass, Ponte Vedra. That's a little north of here. We're close to Miami. But first, it'll be the Players' Championship in tennis, the International Players' Championship. The golf, of course, was scheduled to start at 4 o'clock. But because of what's going on here, this match going longer than we anticipated, the golf will follow this match. Mecir with a break, but Connors with a chance to come back in the second game of the fourth set. Connors leads 2-1. Why the longevity for Jimmy Connors? He's 35 years old. What is it about his game, Virginia, do you think that has enabled him to play for so long so successfully?
Well, I think it is primarily because he loves to play and he gets such a kick out of the occasion. I mean, he just loves being at the center of attention, as is fairly obvious today.
15,
Slightly
40.
doubtful call up the middle. But I think one of the things has been that he has just always stayed up there. It's not as if he's ever had any drastically bad periods when his game has slipped off. That's the gentleman, Butch Buchholz, who sitting next to Buzzer Haddingham, who's chairman of Wimbledon.
Buchholz is the tournament director of, or is he the chairman of the tournament here? Anyway, it's his event.
Great stuff. I also think that although Connors expends a lot of energy while... I mustn't interrupt.
Playing like this, and I don't get TKO'd in about the 15th round, it'll be all right. But I ain't making any promises.
I'm surprised he gave us that much at the end.
No, this is the Connors I like.
I thought he'd give us a promise.
I mean, I think that's nice. That kind of an activity. I think that's fine.
Yeah, but I think that if he said, you know, as long as the way I keep playing and continue to play that, I'm going to win. And I'm surprised he wasn't as committed as that. Maybe we can ask him the question why he thinks he's playing so well. You know, although I was saying he expends a lot of energy when he's playing, he doesn't do anything with his shots that distort the body, so he doesn't have anything that's going to cause him injuries. And you feel that an awful lot of the players play with such extreme styles that their bodies just can't cope with it.
30 love for Connors. It's interesting that he goes up and talks to the microphone knowing quite clearly that he's talking to you, the audience watching at home, and that he is together enough to where it doesn't upset his concentration.
Oh, that's amazing how well he concentrates. I frankly can't see him losing this match now, because he is hitting everything well. His serve's good, all his shots are good. He's really aggressive, and I think that Mecir's fallen apart.
Nearly about, let's see, 200 points played, and that's how they stand. Just over 200.
Well, it's been a long time since he served and volleyed.
By the way, I agree with what you just said, Virginia. I think that he is definitely in the driver's seat now. He can lose it, but I don't think Mecir can win it. And the interesting thing was that we said going into this match that Mecir was the one who was going to call the shots. If he played well, he could win. If he played badly, he could lose it. But I don't think he can play well enough to beat Connors now, if Connors stays on top like he is.
Well, he's got to erase a lot of errors because he's still hitting too many errors. He goes for his big shots, but a lot of them aren't coming out. Oh, lucky.
Deuce.
You know, I think they've also been out here a long time now, and both of their concentration is getting a little bit suspect at moments. Just hard to keep up that intensity all the time. And they're the extra, well, 10. What percentage is that higher? It's nearly a quarter more.
And it makes the big difference. fact, I think that's the statistic that tells the story of the match. At least the tennis side of the match. There have been other considerations, as you know.
At the best of times on this surface, that is a dodgy play, but for Mecir to throw that in when he hasn't been doing that the whole match, it has very little chance of really being effective. So Mecir is still making some mental errors out here. And hardly surprising, because you think that he must be somewhat mentally tired, more than physically.
Game point, Connors. That will be wild, and Connors leads by 2 games to 1 and 2 sets to 1. Directly behind the scene that you're looking at is the great city of Miami. Jimmy Connors is leading it by 2 sets to 1. He leads in the 4th set 2 games to 1. No. Well, they're on serve, I should say, and there is that beautiful Miami skyline. It is a wonderful day out here. There's a slight breeze, but only slight. Temperature in the, I would say, mid-80s, and a lot of folks in the stands have their shirts off and enjoying the beautiful South Florida weather. Cliff Drysdale with Virginia Wade. 2 hours and 40 minutes into this match. Miroslav Mecir is very much down on himself at this point. Connors has come in 39 times, a lot more than Mecir, as you can see. Percentage-wise, they're about even.
Mecir usually comes in more in a match, but I guess when you're playing against Jimmy, Jimmy does not give you too many chances to get short balls and take them in. So that is the reason that that statistic is so low.
You have the feeling that Mecir has got to make things happen now. If he just stays out there, Connors is not missing. His unforced errors have really been cut down considerably, and it's Mecir who's making the errors.
Sense that Jimmy knows that Mecir is going to be the first one to make an error in a rally. If he can just keep the pressure on and not give away anything, he knows he's going to be handed it.
This is a big point for Connors here in the 4th set. If he can win it, he'll have 2 break points.
And that play has worked for Jimmy all afternoon. Taking the forehand cross court to Mecir's backhand and putting him under pressure to make a pass.
It's that deep return of serve, and from there on in, he's on the offensive all the time. I don't know, Virginia.
Leads 3-1.
I look at Mecir and he says to me, I think I had enough of this.
He's saying the same to me. I think he's gone. I just think mentally he just has lost his application, and I think it's followed that his physical coordination is off a little bit. He's just feeling really battered out there emotionally.
And Connors leads it now by 3 games to 1. That's a serve break, of course, in the 4th set, and by 2 sets to 1. Saw trainer, the ATP trainer, check in with both players. The last changeover. It's hot down there. And they're working hard.
When you're that hot and tired and you've been working that hard, your head feels as if it's on fire.
Connor's intensity is amazing. He has really worked hard. It may not have looked like it to you, but believe me, Mecir really moves you around the court. Connors has not stopped running at full speed ever since he got on the court, and that was 2 hours and 45 minutes ago. It's a testimony to the kind of shape that Connors is in. Remember that the Players' Championship, that's the golf, will follow this match. This is the view from the air of the stadium. 4 games to 1 for Connors, 4th set. He's playing against Miroslav Mecir, who won the event last year against Ivan Lendl, the #1 player in the world, in the final. An outstanding display of tennis from Mecir a year ago. He is not the same player today, anyway, that he was when he won the tournament. But that's how his record stands here at the Lipton. Played it twice and has lost only one match in 2 years. No commentary from Jimmy on that occasion. I thought we might get another update from him. 1-4.
I think he's concentrating too hard at this moment.
15 love.
You know, that kind of an action will loosen you up sometimes. Talk to somebody in the crowd, or in this case, talk to everybody that's watching on TV. He knows that.
Well. It's been a long time since there was an ace.
Players' Championship, remember, immediately following this match. It's a coincidence, by the way, that the Players' Championship in golf and tennis are played in the same week. As a matter of fact, the date of this event will be just a couple of weeks later next year. 1 week later, in fact.
40-30.
Mecir has to hold on here. This is game point. Well, this match will be history.
Deuce.
Well, and it seems even if he wins this game or gets a little bit back into this match, there's no way that mentally he is facing up to a fifth set, because he's 2 sets to 1 down.
Advantage Connors.
I think it'll be a relief for Mecir when it's over, frankly. If he loses this point, Connors will serve for the match, and he'll have a 5-game-to-1 lead and 2 sets to 1. Crowd leave you in no doubt as to who they support. Connors will serve for the match. It's interesting how seesaw a match can be. At a certain time, when Connors nearly lost it with Rich Kaufman in the chair, well, you had the feeling that Mecir was in the driver's seat, and then it all changed. Connors got his concentration back. He was trailing at one point 2 serve breaks in the 3rd set. 3 games to love for Mecir, and came back and won at 7-5.
Connors had actually lost 6 games in a row at that stage. But, you know, it's awfully difficult to sustain your own concentration when your opponent is going in and out of their concentration. And it just still baffles me why Jimmy chose to go so berserk in the middle of the match, because he was really controlling it right from the first set. He had a little hiccup at the beginning, but then he really was the better player right from the start. He didn't need to throw his concentration off.
30 love, 2 points from the match.
Run down a few balls if you have to. Move, get your racket back.
Run down a few balls if you have to. I think probably the most significant thing he said, because it's true, of course. He knows that if he stays in there long enough, Mecir is going to make the error and not him. Two points from the match, 30-15, 5-1 Connors, 2 sets to 1.
First serve.
The winner of this match, Connors, almost certainly will play Noah or Wielander. And remember that Noah and Wielander will play tonight, and you can see that match at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. That's midnight on ESPN.
Well, Mecir has definitely decided that for the moment he's going to stay out here. It looks pretty dismal, the prospects for him.
He's 2 breaks of serve behind, of course, at 5-1. So if he broke here, he wins this point, he'll have to break again. It is not over yet. Mecir breaks back rather surprisingly. 5-2 for Connors in the 4th set and 2-1.
But I can't really see him having enough determination to guts it out for any length of time here. But he does have new tennis balls.
Love 15.
He's going to go for a few shots.
15 all.
The Players' Championship from
15,
Ponte Vedra,
30.
Florida. Well, what a great event that is. Well, it's going to follow this match immediately, due to start at 4 o'clock. But, well, this match went a little longer than anyone expected. 2 hours and 59 minutes so far. Live, and that's next. Two match points, but Connors will go to the back and he'll towel down for what I'm sure he hopes will be the final time in the final of this championship. He will play Yannick Noah or Mats Wielander. They will play tonight, and you can see that match at midnight Eastern Time on ESPN.
Glad I wasn't the lines judge on that call.
Connors was looking for a call, but the ball apparently was on the line. Still match point. It looks like he might have hurt his ankle. He was down, as you saw, and then got back up. Watch this again. Looked like his ankle, didn't it?
Well, he slipped on the front foot, and then it went over on the other ankle, but a couple of times the players have slid forward. I suppose there could be a little bit of drips of sweat on the court.
Deuce.
Advantage Mecir.
He definitely went over on the ankle. You'll get a chance to see it here again. That foot goes down, and then watch it. See how he goes over on it right there. Doesn't look like he went over on it far enough to cause him any serious harm, fortunately.
Wait, please.
Game point Mecir now.
Game Mecir. Connors leads.
Oh, the polite applause for Miroslav Mecir. Holds on to serve. He's making an effort at a comeback at least. He broke Connors last time they served. The Players' Championship, remember, that's golf, of course, live from the Tournament Players Club at Sawgrass. That will follow immediately. One of the great championships of the year in golf. So please stay tuned. Next. 5-3 now for Connors and serving.
Well, we knew it would be a great match, this, but we didn't anticipate all the drama. And if his ankle is a little sore, that immediately adds another element into it. Oh, that's an incredible shot.
You think he's out of it, don't you? And then he just slides over there, and boy, what a shot.
It's hard to believe that he can even make a cross-court backhand from this position because he's stretched so far, but that has been where he has been making that shot.
Love 50. He had 5-1. Lost his serve at 5-1. Mecir held on.
You know, you go back to that time when he said into the camera, just run down a few shots if you had to, and he was chiding himself slightly. At 30 love when he was 5-1 up for making an error off the backhand when he really went for a pretty big shot, which was probably not necessary. He's got to keep coming into the net, Jimmy. He's got to take the initiative and stay aggressive and hope that Mecir will not pass him.
The point you're about to watch is an enormous one. If Mecir can win it, well, he'll have 2 break point opportunities against Connors, and that will put them back on serve in the 4th set. Connors leads it by 2-1. Another quarter of an inch would have been a clean winner. So now Connors is just 2 points away if he wins the next two from winning the match. The holder, Miroslav Mecir, who beat Lendl in last year's final.
Well, it was an awfully good serve. Miroslav did well to hit that return as well as he did, but Jimmy had hardly recovered from his serve. Sometimes when you make that return deep up the middle, it's doubly effective.
This is break point. Terrific shot from Connors. He had to hit that one down the line because that was where it was open. Mecir knew it, tried to cover, wasn't there in time, but he had to hit it over the high part of the court net. Watch it. See, there's about 6 inches difference in height from the center of the net and the net pole that holds the net up. So where he hit that wall over was at least 4 inches anywhere higher than the middle of the court, and those inches are critical. Deuce. Now match point for Connors. This will be his third.
Yeah, and he served well under pressure in these last few points.
You wonder what's going through his mind, don't you?
Get that ball.
Why not go for it? This may be the last point of the match.
Quiet, please.
For a place in the final for Connors. Jimmy Connors in 4 sets is in the final. He'll play Noah or Wielander, and we'll be back. Thanks for joining us.